All right. Welcome, technicians, PMPs, everybody who's listening, whatever you may be. Today we are going to talk about
We.
Yeah,
I'm back
Whoa.
in.
Who's that?
This is the D.
You mean you're
The A, I mean.
you're after the D.
But there's always there's a little D in all of us. But this is the A. I'm back.
Oh man.
Been a
So
while.
it has been a while. So
Yeah.
welcome back.
Thank you.
Don't get too nervous.
I'm very nervous.
Are you sweaty?
Yeah.
Palms?
Yeah, you want to feel them?
Nope. I can see them.
Well, you're the
Yeah.
COVID guy, so.
Yeah, you can't touch me. We're wearing masks too. And we are more than 6 feet apart.
We're 10 feet apart.
Actually, he's doing this from his house.
I am. Well, no, I'm not. Because I sound great now.
I know.
I'm not using my crappy gaming headset.
I know. It really makes a difference. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So today we're going to talk about goals.
What kind of goals?
Well, the fun ones, not the crappy ones, the company goals. Okay.
The ones that every company needs?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they should, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope.
Well, it's worked here so far.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
So we'll jump right in. So we're going to talk about company goals and kind of this is for the owners and the managers, if you're listening, the importance of a company goal. A goal can be fun or you can make it crappy. We're going to talk about the fun ones.
Yeah, the fun one.
So, should we tell them about what I've done here?
Yeah, tell them.
Okay. So I did a push for sales. One thing is technicians get a percentage anyway for every sale they get. So it's extra money into their pocket, but we did a push for sales. So I want to do 1,000 accounts this year. And so if they do, we're going to go to Cancun.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been to Cancun or haven't listened to past episodes, I talk about Cancun a lot.
You do.
I do talk about it.
Yeah.
It's a fun place. It's great.
I bet it's fun. Yeah.
So we're doing an incentive and we're doing steps along the way with that incentive, which helps, kind of boost that morale. So they're not looking at, this massive number that we have to hit, but there's also these little steps of getting there and we're going to celebrate along the way. So it's not just, hey, we got to hit this massive number that, looks impossible to hit, but we're going to take those little baby steps.
Oh, yeah. No, one thing as an employee that I really enjoy that you did is it's very unique. I do think that pest control companies are in unique areas because you can do incentives like that instead of, if you're working at a warehouse, the only thing you can really work on is, reducing waste cost or,
Speed.
Yeah, speed, working on speed. The great thing about a pest control company is you can fit these little incentives in your business model. And I think all it does is it helps your company out and it's going to help your employees out. Because when you came and threw us a curveball one meeting, instead of the typical, hey, don't spray elderly people or, don't crash a truck, you said, hey, by the way, if you guys sell enough, we're going to Cancun. All right, get out of here. And we're all like, wait, what? We're going to Cancun? And then you broke down the whole roadmap and you broke it down in quarters of saying that, there's extra incentives on the way up to Cancun. And then now you've just added more after Cancun. So,
yeah, and so that's kind of the cool thing, about, well, one, having a smaller company. So, larger companies, we can't do this. And that's kind of the unfortunate thing. So we talk about massive companies, the big ones, everyone knows their name. They can't go and do an incentive like this. They're not going to take their entire company to Cancun. There are 30,000 employees.
Well, yeah, and I think that, this podcast and this episode is more geared towards, smaller mid-sized companies that, have 5 employees that can, go out of their way to invest in themselves in certain ways that aren't just spending money on advertising or new equipment. You can invest in, your workforce, your employees that you hire, and make their enjoyment at working for a small company much better than, being another cog in the machine over at, a giant company where you're just another employee number.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people forget. And even if you're just a manager or you are an operator in a smaller location and you work for a bigger company, go talk to the upper management above you, because you could still take your team of 10 technicians, 15 technicians, or that little office, on a trip like this, or do an incentive like this. If they do a decent amount, they need to see a change. But upper management would probably say yes.
Yeah, I mean, you want people to work for you at the end of the day. If you are a mid-sized company and, at the end of the day, isn't your goal to be the big company? Or, you know what I'm saying? Don't you want to reach heights? You want to keep getting growth? I think the main thing really is you want people to work for you. And, sometimes you can't pay as much as, bigger companies can pay their employees. So what other ways can you keep the really good technicians?
Well, let's be honest. Some of those big companies are not.
They don't pay much. No, you're right. In this industry,
some of the smaller companies pay more than the big companies.
Well, and we've harped on that thing, the whole that concept. This for it's almost we're 4 days past our year anniversary. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We did our first episode last year on February 24th.
Yep.
And
happy birthday.
Thank you. That is my birthday.
It's his birthday.
And it was my birthday 4 days ago, but I am 74 years old.
Tech years.
Tech years, which means I have probably 89 years experience. What I was saying was that this industry is kind of backwards a lot on certain things, especially with big companies paying, they'll get an applicator and pay a minimum wage, as to where, a smaller company wants a branch 2 guy and they'll pay him a livable wage. And he'll, because smaller companies do have to invest a lot more in employees, because if that guy just goes up and quits, good luck finding a good tech, as a replacement. I mean, you've went through the pains of trying to find good techs, so it's tough.
Yeah, well, I think this is, creating a goal or creating an incentive like this for an owner and a manager. You're really you're investing back into the company, but what you're doing is you're pushing your technicians to be better than the next guy. You're making them, if they want to participate, some of them don't, but then you'll actually get to weed those guys out. So you'll be able to see who really wants to, push and become something better and who doesn't. And so creating a goal like this, investing in your company this way, or if you're a manager, you're not investing your money, but you're pushing this, you're going to see who is actually, doing the best. And you're going to be one of the managers or the operators that are, have the biggest area, or you're covering the most ground. So, I mean, creating that goal is going to be something awesome to do. And so if you're a manager, talk to the guys up above you. If you're an owner, get it going, because that's just going to, boost morale in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, it could be something as simple as, I want 100 5-star reviews by the end of the year, and then I'm taking you guys all out to Chuck E. Cheese. Or it could be something as big as, I want to get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 new contracts signed up, residential and commercial, and then, I'm going to take you guys to Disney World. It's just whatever it is. I think definitely we did an episode on incentives before and how they help keep morale and spice things up in your company. But I think having a very broad one, like a very broad company goal or business plan, or incentive for your employees and all of them, because I don't know if you want to talk about it, but sometimes when you have people against each other, it might get a little competitive. But having a large team-oriented goal, all it's going to do is be positive. And that's the big thing, is you want it to be positive, and you want it to lift up employees, because a lot of times, employees could fall into a lull. They could be going through the motion, just going to collect their paycheck. And then once they're only going to collect their paycheck, you're not going to have any innovation. You're not going to have anybody step outside the box, because they're either bored of what they're doing at their job, or they're just going to go, put their efforts into something else.
Yeah, well, that's kind of breaking the normal routine, because I think that's where a lot of people eventually get bored. There's not, I'm doing the same thing. Some guys like that. Some guys don't like to, see anything different.
Well, that's good too. By creating a company goal is that you'll be able to see who is that and then who's not. And then it'll make you realize who you really want on your workforce.
Yeah. But yeah, this definitely helps, break that normal routine of I'm just going to go spray my accounts, go home. That's it. And then wake up the next day, go spray my accounts, go home, so I think this helps, brighten it up a little bit and, creating these incentives, but also adding in money to it or different things. That's creating a way for employees to make more money. In some situations, you can't give a raise. You can't give more money if there's not more money to give.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I think a lot of people don't understand that. Very few actually get it, but they come into maybe a smaller company and there isn't $1 extra to give to somebody. That's going into something already. So now with the growth of it and there's more accounts getting put on, that creates more money, which now people can get paid more money.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people don't understand that, but making that, stand out, which brings us to the next point is what if you're just a technician? You're not a manager. You're not an owner. You're not an operator. You just work for a guy.
Yeah. So I'm actually a technician. And the main thing is that if you are just, an employee and you don't really have too much insight or influence on everyday activities in the office or in the business, and you're not in the kitchen when they're doing marketing or doing new service tests or anything like that, it doesn't mean that you could just go and collect your paycheck. One thing that I like to live by, and it's something I've done in all my jobs, whether I was in a warehouse, working in a restaurant, or working here, is that I want to be the employee that I'd want to hire if I owned a business. That's one thing I always stand by because if you have a business, who do you want to work for you? You want someone who wants to innovate. You want someone who wants to be creative. You want someone that's going to be happy doing their job. And you want, just the perfect employee. Now, obviously, not everyone's perfect, but you could try your best to be. Now, and how I say that is through this company that I've worked for, I, constantly try to innovate, try to add new things. I keep in communication with the office and see what I can do on my end as a technician to, help out and help the company and help it grow. Because one major thing that I believe in is that if you're working somewhere where you don't want to invest extra time or extra effort into, then you probably need to get a new job. Because if you're working somewhere where you don't have that attachment to that, company, you're probably somewhere where you're just going through the motions. So that's what I believe in.
Oh yeah. Well, that's exactly correct. I think a lot of guys just kind of jump into something just to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
And they're not the ones that are going to stand out, but then they complain sometimes about, oh, I'm not making enough, or I don't like it, and it's, well, obviously,
yeah.
You're not even doing what you like. You're just jumped in because it was an opportunity or it was easy or whatever it was. And then you complain about it. Well, there's a lot of reasons why, but if you are just a tech and you say, well, Daniel, Anthony, I that's awesome. You guys are talking about company goals and everything, but I can't. I'm not the one who decides that. Go talk to your manager. Go talk to the owner. Start getting more sales. Start doing some things differently. Create your own goals, and when you do an annual review or a quarterly review or whatever you do, you can sit down with your manager and say, "Hey, look, these are my personal goals."
Yeah.
And then you can even bring it up. Hey, if I beat this personal goal and I sell 10 more, can we do a bonus, or could we do an incentive, or could we do something? And start cracking at them that way. It's just little chips. And then eventually these guys are going to get, the idea of, oh, hey, you know what? Maybe I should do an incentive
for more, more of the company. Yeah.
And then it opens up to being all the techs. But if you are the one that's creating that for yourself, if you haven't listened to the Free Talk Friday Financial Freedom, this is one way to get more money. It's a way to create, a bigger incentive for you, a bigger paycheck for you, is going out and getting more sales.
Yeah.
Become more creative, give more ideas, do extra things, and then that will start to open up management to giving you more things, to do, and then more money.
Yeah. Now, and obviously to play devil's advocate, to where if, you're trying to do that and you're doing your best, and, you listen to all of the DNA podcast episodes, you're probably one of the 5-star technicians.
Oh, absolutely.
And one of the best technicians in the industry worldwide. And shout out to Australia, because we have a lot of listeners out there.
Yeah,
hey,
crazy.
you guys are on the front lines. You guys are dealing with 10-foot spiders out there, man. Have fun.
Yeah, seriously.
But no, if you do reach out and you do try to innovate to your company, and they say just shut up and clock in, do the jobs, and clock out, you probably want to find a new company to work for. There's plenty of pest control companies out there. There's a ton. In fact, I believe there's probably a shortage in good technicians. They're recycling through what's your favorite word? Bums. they're recycling.
Bunch of bums.
Yeah, they're recycling through bum technicians a lot, and
We've had them here.
yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, and even one of them, he's a bum. And what's sad is the company that we buy all of our products from even knows he's a bum.
When you get a reputation of, oh, don't hire that guy in an industry, I think it's time to change industries, but more importantly, reevaluate yourself.
Cut your license up.
Yeah.
Cut it up, throw it
Cut it
away, retire.
Then burn it.
Yep, you got to walk away.
Yeah.
You're not Tom Brady at that point. You can't
No,
keep
you're
going.
not. You're not the greatest of all time, Tom Brady.
Brett Favre had to do it.
Well, Brett Favre was, and in fact, he had an archaeologist walk around with him because he was a fossil.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah,
Yeah.
He threw his arm off one game.
Yeah. But no, there's plenty of pest control companies wherever you are. Now, obviously, if you're in a small town or limited, sorry, this doesn't pertain to you. If there's only one local company that you have to work for, I know you're kind of stuck in there. But just try your best. Keep at it and keep talking to your manager or the owner and keep telling them, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And, if you're confined to a certain area and a certain amount of revenue, there's only so much you can do. But if you're living near a big city, I'm willing to guarantee there's probably 200 pest control companies alone in that area.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's plenty of them to go work for.
Yeah, and and one thing that you can always do is, if, let's just say you do like the company you work for, other than the downfall is they don't do incentives, find ways of where if they pay commission, for sales, create your own goals and create your own incentives, even though they're not doing it. Say, hey, look, if I get 10 sales, I'm going to get, a paycheck, I'll get additional $400. I'm going to take that $400 and I'm going to go on vacation, or I'm going to fly somewhere, or I'm going to do something. Do that for yourself, because then that creates, a boost in your own morale that is going to change, your routine, and it's going to push you to look for something even better. So, you can create your own if the company's not willing to. So always remember that. But
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes we have to do that on our own. Sometimes I do that for myself. Hey, you know what? I want to go do this. So what I'm going to do is I have to do all of these things first, and then I'll go do that.
And you know what? And if your company's not, playing ball with you when it comes to incentives and goals, and, you're making a decent amount of money, and you're like, man, there's just so many better ways that you can do it. You should do it this way and that way. Hey, no one's stopping you to go start your own company. Daniel has a ton of episodes to help you do that and to help you walk through. And I saw that, Daniel's actually, keeping in touch with a new business owner, right?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
So, we've been messaging back and forth on Instagram a little bit, but, we'll talk about it a little bit. I think they'll like this.
Okay.
They don't want us to give out their name or anything. Because the company they work for, no one knows about it. But so this guy, he's been kind of hindered by the manager and owner.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's specifically goal-wise, incentives. I don't think that's an issue there. But, his whole thing is, they aren't doing exactly what, he thinks they should be doing. And he's been giving them a few ideas that we've thrown out.
Yeah.
And they have changed a few things, which is cool.
Great. Yeah.
I think the backpack sprayers is one, implementing
they're
backpack
the
sprayers.
future. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a cool little thing. But the other thing is they're kind of restricting, they're not training, they're not bringing the technicians up. They're not going, and I think a lot of owners and and managers get scared is, oh, if I teach this guy how to do a bed bug treatment, he's going to take my job.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is you have to bring everybody up. You have to train everybody.
And here's real quick. I don't want to take you too off course, but this touches up on, your fear of losing your job, or, the feast and famine mentality is only going to get you so far. Mm-hmm. The thing is you train people the best you can to do the job just as good as you. And if you're worried they're going to take your job, then that means that you're not doing your job good enough.
Yeah. Well, that's job security.
Yeah.
If I bring everybody around me up, even if they pass me or they get hired above me or now they're my boss, guess what? I'm never going to get fired.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because I just helped my boss get to that position. Mm-hmm. He will never get rid of me. If I go in and say, hey, I need a raise, guess who's going to give me a raise?
Yeah.
Because I brought him there. So you can't keep that mentality. But this guy, he kind of wants to break off because he sees that there's a better way to do it. So if you are in that situation where there's no incentives, there's no things going on, you are just a tech, you have no control. I talk about it in the Financial Freedom, save your money.
Yeah.
Create your own company. Go back and listen to that one as well. Free Talk Friday, owning a company, pest control company. And that's going to talk about everything you need to know on what you should do and kind of my story on how I even got to this position. But if you see that opening, take it.
Exactly. And then give them a company go to Cancun.
And then give your employees, So, I mean, it should never be you should never be scared. But, I mean, if you are in that owner management position, you need to understand these guys can go create their own company eventually.
Well, what are the two words? There's entrepreneurs and is it entrepreneurs?
And entrepreneurs, yeah.
Exactly. So in each one's great. Each one's fabulous.
Well, that's what a lot of people, I think, social media's kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
Because they've made entrepreneur this fancy, awesome thing. Oh, look, this guy just did his online business and he's doing 300,000 in sales.
And then he says, hey, check out my new 4 Lamborghinis, but I really want to show you my 5 bookshelves.
Yeah, well, they don't show you the clip afterwards with the security guard chasing them off the property. Yeah. So they hopped a fence, took a video. But social media has kind of pushed that is you need to create your own business. Just find a business where, being an entrepreneur, creating those things is available.
Yeah, find the right company.
Yeah, then you don't have to go through the stress of, how, like we just talked about, paying for a website.
Yeah.
That website which is actually, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of stupid, but it's more than my rent.
Yeah.
Here at the office.
Wow.
So like,
that's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, but then you eliminate that stress and that headache, but then you can be more creative. And that's what people don't know. If you took all that stress of being an owner, and that's why I kind of push people not to be an owner in the podcast. And that's why this person actually on Instagram, they did say, you kind of make it seem like it's this horrible thing and no one should do it.
Let me tell you this real quick. As a technician, the small snippets I get from the owner's point of view and just on costs. And, I remember one time I forgot I didn't forget it, but there wasn't a gas card in the truck. And I had to spend about $100 to fill it up. And then I said to myself, right after I filled it up with my own money, because obviously I was going to get reimbursed, I said, I'm never going to start a pest control company because you don't think about how much it costs. My goodness.
Well, that's why I kind of turn people away from starting their own business. Or now, if you are, it's save your money.
Yeah, save money for sure, huh?
In the beginning, you don't just jump into 1,000 accounts and you have enough to
a living
play
wage.
With. Yeah, that's not how that works. When you start, and I think the hardest thing, which I had to skip, which I'm so glad I didn't go through, the hardest thing is going from a sole owner who is the office, the tech, and the owner to hiring someone.
Yeah.
Because once you hire someone, you are now giving up all that extra money that you were making.
Yep.
Like the guy that I was looking at buying his business, one is actually he couldn't do company goals, which is interesting because he didn't make enough.
Yeah.
The other thing is he was only doing, and I'll say it because no one knows the business, but he was only doing about 120,000 a year, which everyone thinks, oh wow, 120,000 a year. Yeah, but you are paying for your own. You're paying for your own gas, your own chemicals, your own truck, your own house because you have to rent or own your own home.
Yeah.
So that 120,000 that he was doing in a year goes out the window. I mean, his chemical cost alone took out probably 5,000 to 6,000.
Yeah. Well, real quick though.
Yeah.
He wasn't charging much.
No,
That, you know?
He wasn't. And he was driving all over the place. So his gas was actually probably through the roof too.
So maybe if he charged more, which he could have, had more of a revenue, because I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to get and start a business in the industry, but I just think that people need to realize how hard it is.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is that guy himself, and I know we kind of stepped away from company goals and what you need to, but this all kind of helps because if you do start your own company and you don't have enough revenue, you're not charging, you're not doing the best that you can do, you can't create goals. You can't do incentives.
Be prepared to work another job,
and most people, when they do that, they lose their pest control business.
Yeah.
So,
we know a old tech with about 98 years experience that did it. And what happened?
At Walmart.
Yeah. What happened was he had to end up working at Walmart to help sustain his living while trying to build his pest control company.
Which ultimately failed.
Well, it probably failed because on a lot of things with him, but
see, that's the thing.
If you're a go-getter, I think you can do it.
Yeah. So, and that's why I put this out there is you're a technician, you work for a company, you see all the things that can get changed and you see how much you can do better, do that.
Or, try to implement it in your current company or find someone else that's like-minded like you and team up. The more the merrier when it comes to starting a pest control company.
Yeah. So you can team up. And that's the thing is what you don't realize is when you do become an owner, you don't only think about, okay, I got these 15 appointments today and I'm going to do this today and I'm going to mix this chemical and I'm going to do the best I can. You can't think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As an owner, you have to think, okay, first of all, I have to pay all of these bills or something's either going to get repoed or I'm going to get kicked out or the light's going to get, and then I have to buy all these chemicals and then I have to pay all these insurances or the pest control company is going to take my licenses away. So you have all these other things to think about. Plus on top of that, it's okay. Now I need to take care of my customers.
Yeah. And then you run out of gas on the way to your next account and you realize you don't have money to fill the truck up.
So, and that's the thing. So, so when you do, if you do start your own company and you are looking at that, make sure that you do understand you have to think about a lot of things. It's not about, oh, now, you know what? I'm going to implement this and now I can do it. Yeah. Yes, you can, but you do have to take care of a lot of other things.
Yeah. And guy out there on Instagram, don't be discouraged.
No. It all comes with preparation.
Be prepped. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to prepare. You have to save. You have to do that.
Don't go out there next year and say, I'm doing it now. This is my year. And have only $10,000 saved up. You're going to need a lot more money.
You're going to fail if that happens. No, but that's the thing. And that's where if you can actually, as a technician, as a worker, you can create incentives for yourself. That's going to help you be able to, one, save, make more money, but also create that opportunity when you do own your own business, to have those company goals because you're going to learn, okay, what incentivizes me? What actually boosts me to do a better job?
Yeah.
And now you have these ideas. Now you can throw them out.
And you know what? And the cool thing is you have the best resource to train you and your company called the DNA Pest Control Podcast.
You do. Absolutely.
Yeah. And guess what? Where you won't learn this, signal words are on the label. There you go. Where you learn that? You ain't gonna learn that nowhere else, right?
Well, I mean, there's a book, but I won't mention him.
Why not? We always mention him.
I don't like his face. We've been looking at his face so much.
No. Don't say that because I was actually going to email him and try to get him on the podcast.
No, still do it. I want him to hear it because I think that would be great.
Can I say his name? We said his name before.
Yeah, Termite Terry.
Termite Terry.
Yeah.
We're coming to you, brother.
Yeah, he's got some big old cigars too.
Termite Terry, there's a picture of you wearing a trench coat and a cigar, and it's not the most flattering one, but we appreciate you.
Man.
We use your book to train everybody, and it's actually helped me pass my test.
Oh, hey, and I'm going to tell you something if he listens, Mr. Termite Terry. There is a company here in Sacramento who buys just one book and copies it.
Yeah, you should sue them because they can afford it.
They can.
Hell, we'll give you the info. Sue the crap out of them.
Yeah, that would be actually really funny.
And then tell all their clients to come work for us. Or not work for us. I mean, come and use our services.
Oh, they will. They will. But so anyway, thanks for listening to the DNA Pest Control Podcast. And I hope this kind of gave you guys some ideas for goals in your own company, or if you're just a technician working, I hope this kind of gave you some ideas to be able to boost your morale and kind of change your normal routine.
And remember, your company needs a goal.
Yeah, it does.
Always.
Always needs a goal. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.